What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Fantasy Time. I am your host, Jacob Cutler, the Fantasy Guy, and today I have episode number 17 for you. Yes, we are rolling along here, and of course, it's the Friday episode, which means you know what it is. I got another installment of Meat on the 50 yet again, and as always, I'm joined by one of my best friends, Brandon Sullivan, my partner in this journey, and together we are going to break down this slate of games that we have for you on tap. And I don't know how I feel about these games. We'll see. I'm going to need some energy throughout this episode to really pump me up for some of these games, because some of these games, I'm not going to lie, are some real snooze fests, real snoozers, if you know what I mean. But if you like this video, please smash that like button, smash that subscribe button, tap on that bell notification. That way, anytime a new episode drops, and they drop every Tuesday and Friday, you are right there to consume the content, because that's what we're doing. Brandon and I are always dropping the knowledge. We're just leaving it out for you. That way you can just pick it up, shove it in your head, shake it around, and boom, better fantasy player, better knowledgeable football human being, because that's what it's all about, right? Growing and learning something, because if you're not growing, you are dying. So smash that like button, smash that subscribe button, tap on that bell notification. That way you can stay up to date on all the latest content coming to you from our channel. But without further ado, you guys know what I like to say. Let's get into it in another installment of Meat on the 50. Alrighty, welcome back to another installment of Meat on the 50. Joining me, as always, one of my best friends, my partner in this journey, Brandon Sullivan. Brandon, how you feeling today?
Feeling good. We had some really good games last week, some that didn't go so well, especially my game. But excited to jump into this week and see, to talk about some of these great games. I think there's going to be some, I think this next week I'm hoping should top last week. So let's get into that and give the people what they want.
Yes. Alrighty, let's get into this. Let's put these scores from last week up on the screen. Boom. Alrighty, and then, the overall scores from the weeks. And now let's talk about last week. We gotta talk about last week, mister. We gotta talk about last week. So, let's start with you first, because to be fair, I wasn't the greatest either. But starting us off, explain this to me. Going 6-10 last week, but 1-0 on the victory. What says you?
Last week went about as bad as it could have gone for me. Every single game that I didn't think the Jets were going to beat the Titans. Let's face it. That was one. I thought Minnesota was going to take the game I thought that they were going to take that game at home. I thought Miami maybe had some sort of momentum. Indianapolis kind of said nope. I thought maybe Detroit could beat Chicago. No. So it's just a lot of games where it was like I wasn't really sure, but I felt my intuition told me to go with those picks, and they just faltered. And I feel like that's how it was for week one for me as well. So this was a very strange week. I do think that there was a lot of upsets this week and a lot of games that went a little bit differently than I thought they would.
Yep. You know what? You know what we're gonna do with your 6-10 last week? You know what we're gonna do? We'll take it right here. We're gonna crumple it up, and we're gonna drop it in the trash, because that's what we do here. We don't focus on that negative garbage here, okay? We're gonna focus on something positive. Let's bring up the overall record for yourself for the season. We got you at 34-30. Still on that positive mark, but the banger is right here. 4-0 on your guaranteed victories. So, one thing that we know for sure is if you guarantee it, chances are it's going to happen. So that's nice to see there. Moving on to myself. Last week was not the greatest week for us here at Fantasy Time. Was not the greatest week. It was more like a week one. It was a weird week. Finishing off 9-7, going 1-0 on my guaranteed victory. Remember, we had the double guaranteed victory, so Brandon and I hit that with the Buffalo Bills last week, going 1-0. I think he pretty much said it all, right? The last week, the games are weird. They could have gone either way, and that's just the way the cookie crumbles sometimes. So, myself for the season, right now, I am at 41-25. 3-1 on my guaranteed victories with the Jacksonville Jaguars letting me down week 1 against the Houston Dumpster Fire Texans. I can't get over it. But anyways, let's talk about this week let's talk about last week real fast. It started out with an absolute thriller, one of the highest rated Thursday night games in recent history. Let me read you some of these stats real fast. So we got the Jags-Bengals game averaging 8.5 million viewers, right, up 47% from week 4. Nobody wanted to watch the Houston Dumpster Fire Texans take on the Panthers, so I think that's very apparent there. But everybody wanted to see the rematch of the national championship, right? Trevor Lawrence versus Joey Burrow 2. So, I mean, we're going to see a ton of those matchups. Could be the future Brady Peyton Manning. Who knows? Who knows? And then the 3-game average for these Thursday night games so far is 8.1 million viewers. So whoever scheduled these Thursday night games, a firm handshake to you. And then AMA on NFL and Yahoo Sports platforms hit 542,000, highest ever for a Thursday night football game. People were tuned in. It didn't matter who the teams were. They wanted to see the quarterbacks, and that's what it is about right there. So we saw a thriller with some outstanding quarterbacking play on Thursday. In the morning games, we did not see much, but what we did see the Cowboys take down the Panthers. And then, before we even get to the next game, apparently the Panthers took that personally because they went out and they signed Stephon Gilmore from the Pats for a 6th-round pick, stealing him away from the Pats. What do you have to say about this? What do you think about this?
It really amps up that defense that's already got a motor. You know, I mean, it's that supercar defense now. You know, I mean, it's they're going to be rolling. I mean,
supercar defense. I love it.
Yeah,
I love it.
Yeah, no, they're no joke. And if you weren't scared of them in the NFC South, now you should be.
It's true. That's a good point. Tampa Bay has got some competition this season. Unexpected competition this season, I'll say that. But we saw they're definitely going to bounce back. And then we saw the upset of the season. The New York Jets taking down the massively struggling Tennessee Titans. I don't know what's going on with them, but Zach Wilson looked good on Sunday. He was able to pull it together, look like the quarterback that a lot of us expected him to be, and just fought to the end, showed heart, guts, spirit, whatever you want to call it, and was able to get the victory in overtime over the Titans. Titans need to pick it up. In the afternoon, we saw the battle of the unbeatens, right? The remaining unbeaten teams. We saw them hash it out, and there's only one unbeaten team left in the league, and they're in the NFC West. That is the Arizona Cardinals. The Cardinals looked like the real deal. And that's what I was saying last week, right? We wanted to see Kyler Murray take that, or I wanted to see Kyler Murray take that step and elevate his game to that next level. And he did that. He did that and more. I mean, he is the lead candidate for MVP right now. So Kyler Murray is balling out. And it's happy to see. It's nice to see a player progress year in and year out, right? We saw it last year with Josh Allen, who took that next step in his game, and it looks like very well looks like we're seeing it with Kyler Murray. So it's always nice to see a person actually work on their game and it pay off. The other highlight, and I'm sorry, the other highlight, unfortunately, because it wasn't, in my mind, it wasn't expected, was the Seahawks going to Santa Clara and taking advantage of a fully struggling Niner team. What do you got to say about this game? Give me your quick analysis on this.
Yeah, very upsetting. It does seem that it seems like the Seahawks run into the 49ers when they are plagued with injuries. Trent Williams went out. Our running backs are pretty depleted. I thought Trey Sermon played very well. Having Trey Lance come in, the game plan was not for him. Nothing was for him in that game. So it's kind of a little bit of backyard football going on. He did show some flashes of what he is able to do, though he came out with kind of angst and, made some mistakes in the beginning. I feel as the game went on, he progressed and started to feel the flow. Yeah. But it was against a struggling Seahawks defense. I'm still pretty upset just because anytime we lose to the Seahawks, it's very, very upsetting. But it does, I'm not as upset as if Jimmy was healthy, played the full game. Our players were there. It does seem as though they caught us on a bad day.
Yeah.
And I feel like if we play them at full strength, it would have been a different story.
That's a good way to look at it. I like that. Yeah, I think they did catch the Niners on the bad day. My thing with the Niners is this. The Niners are a playoff team. You look at their roster on paper, but they aren't playing like a playoff team through and through in all aspects of the game, all three levels, right? The offense, the defense, and special teams, and it starts with Kyle, right? Kyle has got to coach better, and my thing is, I think he also doesn't have an identity for this team. He doesn't know what the hell he wants this team to be this year. I think he really is kind of one of those things where he just wants the season to kind of be over. Like, he wish it was already week 17, so that way he can just implement his packages with Trey and just get that going. So, once he realizes that Trey is still a rookie and Jimmy is the quarterback, whether he can throw the ball 10 yards or not, Jimmy is the quarterback. Focus on him while you have him and, win the games while you have him. And then next year, Trey, boom, there you go. Implement your stuff next year. Don't worry about that this year. Focus on when you have Jimmy and utilize Jimmy for what he is, which is a decently to good quarterback. And my other thing with the Niners is the stable of running backs. I don't like it. It's not working for me. The Niners need to go out and in the offseason and retool that offense for Lance, whether it be signing Davante Adams away from the Packers if Aaron leaves, whether it's getting Davante Adams, getting a solid staple running back, whether it's plucking Zeke from the Cowboys if he doesn't want to be there anymore, taking Zeke from the Cowboys, getting somebody who you look in the backfield and it's like, there is our running back. Not, who's running the ball today? Elijah Mitchell, Trey Sermon, Raheem Mostert, Jeff Wilson Jr., Jermichael Hasty. I can name 1,000 running backs that the Niners have in their utilization. They're all injured. Get somebody who is the staple runner in that backfield. In the evening games, we saw an absolute thriller, and almost another major upset. But the kid did outplay the GOAT. Mac Jones outplayed Tommy B, but thanks to Tom always finds a way, whether it be him driving his team down to get that winning field goal or somebody missing a field goal for him, Tommy finds a way and avoids the massive upset on the missed field goal at the end of regulation to seal the deal for the Tampa Bay Bucks. And then on Monday, we had a crazy atmosphere. It was basically two home games for two different teams, right? The Chargers and the Raiders, both at home, essentially. But the Raiders mightily struggled, could not get any momentum. They finally were able to get momentum in the third. They missed the field goal to bring it in within 4. Game over. So the AFC West right now runs through Los Angeles, so far? The AFC West runs through the Chargers. All right. Looking at this week's schedule, looking at these games I've typed out for myself, I'm gonna need a little energy from you on some of these games. I don't know how I feel about this schedule. It's kind of a sleeper kind of week. But we'll get into it. Let's start with tomorrow, right? But for everybody else, yesterday we got the Los Angeles Rams traveling up to Washington, taking on Seattle. What do you got for me?
Like I said, Seattle. I feel like you got to give them some credit, but at the same time, it's like, come on, like you're playing a struggling team at home. You guys are kind of doing your little flexing over a rookie quarterback who's never even played. You guys are always playing gimmick quarterbacks. CJ Beathard's a gimmick, Nick Mullins a gimmick, and then Trey Lance hasn't even, had any reps under his belt. So, I am still not impressed by Seattle. I'll say it how it is. When I am impressed, I'll come out and say that I'm impressed by them. I am not. I do not think that defense is good at all. I think that Trey Lance started exposing them at the end of the game. By his, being able to, elude the pressure, get some quick first downs and get some quick touchdowns. We saw there was a busted coverage. And so I am not impressed by them at all. I fully expect the Los Angeles Rams to bounce back in a big win. Because, like I said, Seattle, they seem to struggle at home as well. I don't know what it is, but I am going to pick the Rams here, 27-14. What about you?
Coming off that analysis right there, some fire. Woo! I can feel it from here. I got the Los Angeles Rams with you. I got the Los Angeles Rams 35-21. You know, in the past, this has been a major struggle game for the Rams, right? The Rams would go up to Seattle. They would always be on this roll, and then the Seahawks would come in and just dominate them. But I think times have changed. I think with Matt Stafford, I think times have changed. I fully expect the Rams defense and Rams offense to get back on track, back into the win column against a relatively easy win here against Seattle. So yeah, I'm gonna roll with the Rams on this one. Moving on to the Sunday morning games. Our first morning game is the New York Jets traveling to Atlanta to take on the Falcons. What do you got for me? Jets, Falcons.
This will probably be the last time that I pick Atlanta if they lose again. I'm definitely going to Atlanta here. I'm not completely confident, but come on now. You got to win. I mean, you're at home. You gotta start putting together some wins. New York Jets. I mean, I was kind of impressed, but at the same time, Tannehill, he's not that good of a quarterback in my opinion. And when you don't have Julio Jones and you don't have AJ Brown, who are we throwing it to? So that's big on it. You cannot just rely solely on Derrick Henry when they already expect that he's going to be one running the ball because you can't pass because you have no receivers. So New York Jets, give them credit. However, not picking them against Atlanta, taking Atlanta in a close one, 20-17.
Okay. I am, however, going to take the New York Jets because I think that performance last week is going to propel them into another upset over the Atlanta Falcons. I think Zach Wilson and the Jets continue that momentum. They tasted success. He finally tasted some success. I think it's a good one. I got New York Jets 24-21, but the Atlanta Falcons, nothing impressive about them whatsoever. Big disappointment, Atlanta Falcons. The next game, we got a good one. We got the Green Bay Packers traveling to Cincinnati to take on the Bengals. Not the Bungles, the Bengals. What do you got for me?
I'm going to go with the Bengals here. I like the Bengals. I've liked them all season. I love Jamar Chase. I think they have some great wide receivers. I love Joe Mixon. I love your guys' quarterback. I mean, Joey B, he's awesome. I think the defense has been stepping up too and making big plays when they need to. So very impressed with the Bengals. I do think that they take down Green Bay. I think Green Bay is kind of on a hot streak. They're 3-1 right now. I do think they fall to the Bengals. The Bengals take this one 28-24 in a close one.
Ooh. Yeah, I got after the Bengals left the Bungles in the locker room at halftime on Thursday and decided, you know what? We're not bringing out last year's team. We're bringing out this year's team. And this year's team is a whole hell of a lot better than last year's team. I got the Bengals pulling off the upset against Green Bay. Cincinnati has pulled off some upsets in the past. If you look at their history, they have pulled off some upsets in the past. I think this is one of those times. It's going to be a super tough game. It's going to be back and forth. No doubt about it. It's going to be exciting, I'm hoping. But I think our defense comes through big late. That's what I think what happens. Or Joey B could just have ice in his veins again and just take the ball 90 yards down the field for the game-winning drive like he did on Thursday. Whew, that was a sight to see. I got the Bengals 35-31 in an absolute thriller in the morning. Thriller. The next game we got is the Detroit Lions. Taking a small trip to Minnesota, taking on the Minnesota Vikings. What do you got for me?
Yeah, I was disappointed in what I saw out of Minnesota last week. I don't expect that to carry over into the next week at all. I think that, like you said, Kirk Cousins just had one of those games where you're wondering what's going on, but, that happens sometimes.
Yep.
So, but I fully expect them to recover and bounce back and take a big bounce back victory at home against the Detroit Lions. I expect Dalvin Cook to get going. I expect those receivers, Justin Jefferson and Adam Thielen, to get going. I really like this pick here. I'm going to take Minnesota 31-17. I think they win convincingly.
4 points away. I'm with you. I got Minnesota Vikings 35-17. This one is pretty easy, right? I have the Vikings bouncing back. Everyone's going to freak out. Oh, Kirk's going back to his old ways. No, he's not. He's fine. Captain Kirk's going to get back on track. The Vikings will get back on track. Last week, they just ran into the buzzsaw, and you'll hear me say it again, the buzzsaw that is the Cleveland Browns defense this year. But I think Captain Kirk and the boys, the Vikes, take care of the Detroit Lions 35-17 in a relatively easy game. Next game up, we got the team that has completely given up on the season. Love to see it. We got the Denver Broncos taking on the Pittsburgh Steelers. What do you got for me?
Yeah, I think we kind of saw that, the Denver Broncos, we kind of saw a little bit of their identity. They weren't as good as we thought they originally were. The Ravens kind of changed that perspective, I think, out of a lot of people's, analytic and, analysis. So I'm going to pick Denver here, even though, last week they struggled. I don't have any confidence in Pittsburgh at this time. And like you said, I totally agree. Feels like they've given up, right? So I think Denver wins this one, 31-21. I think, Pittsburgh kind of puts up a fight in the first half and then Denver runs away in the second half. What do you think?
It is clear after last week that the Steelers will fold up shop if you push them too hard. Right? They go crying to their mommy. They go, "Oh, mommy, I got a boo-boo. I can't play outside anymore." Freaking Steelers, they fold up shop, right? And what's great was, guess who exposed them? The Bengals exposed them for who they truly are. And then the Packers exposed them for who they truly are. The Broncos are going to expose them for who they truly are, which is give up artists on this season. The Steelers, it's time to go back to the drawing board, my friends. I know you don't want to admit it. I know you don't want to do it, but it's time. Tomlin, get him out of there. Roethlisberger, get him out of there. Find a team to get yourselves better. Steelers, give up artists this year. I think the Denver Broncos force the Steelers' third straight give-up week. Denver Broncos, 24-14. And a bounce-back game for Denver. Next up, we have the Miami Dolphins. The struggling Miami Dolphins taking on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I mean, come on. What do you got for me on this one? What do you got for me on this one?
I love that one. You already know what I got for you on this one. Tampa Bay just going in there and just slapping them in the mouths. I no disrespect towards Miami, but come on. They're not going to lose it. The Tampa Bay is not going to lose it home to Miami, so there's not much to say here. Just make it easy. 35-10 or 35-10. They're going to beat them.
Yeah. Tampa Bay is going to handle the struggling Miami Dolphins, with relative ease. Tom's going to have a bounce-back game after a slow week in New England. And for whatever reason, Dolphins can never get away from Tom. Tom's always going to be a nightmare in the Dolphins' dreams of success. So I got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, 35-14. Easy win on Sunday. Next game up, we have the New Orleans Saints traveling to the nation's capital to take on the Washington nameless football team. What do you got for me?
This one's really tough for me. I really, it took me a little bit of time when I was looking at the schedule this week to see who I was going to pick. You know what? I'm just going to go for Washington just because they're at home. I really don't have much to say about this one at all. Not a big fan of either team this season. I think they're both kind of up and down, but I have some respect for Washington just because they've showed some resiliency and at least they've competed in all of their games. Whereas New Orleans, it's like the bipolar team of the season. So definitely going to roll with the Washington football team here. I think they get it done 21-14.
I like it. Yeah. It looks like this week we're rolling together on a lot of these picks. Yeah, because this game, I stared at this game and I was trying to type some analysis for it. I had no idea what to type. But I think most of people know by now that I love Taylor Heineke. I think the kid is an absolute baller. And I love underdog stories. Total underdog story. So I think he continues his underdog story and a good game. He's gonna. The kid is a solid quarterback. I think he's proven it the first 3 weeks. And it's not like I said in my Tuesday video. He hasn't played bad opponents. He's played good opponents and still done decently. They played Buffalo, if I'm not mistaken, and they were supposed to get thrashed. The kid put up, 27 fantasy points. He also kept the majority in the game, even though it was 42-24. He was still able to put up points against a Buffalo defense that is stouter than stout gets. So I like Taylor Heineke. I think he is able to propel Washington against a whatever New Orleans Saints team, and I think 28-17 Washington football team. Next game up, we have the Philadelphia Eagles traveling to Carolina to take on the Panthers. What do you got for me?
Just with the addition of Stephon Gilmore, I think that defense just got a lot better. And although Philly has showed some flashes of their potential, I still think that they have a long way to go. I think that Carolina bounces back and wins this one with ease, 28-14.
Yeah, this is going to be my guaranteed victory for the week. I got Carolina bouncing back, beating the Eagles 38-24. I think it's a high-scoring game. I have the Carolina Panthers rebounding. Sam and that offense played well. It was that defense that somewhat got exposed, but then what do? They just go out and they patch up their holes with getting a Pro Bowl quarterback. So there you go. If you want to see a franchise that's doing it right, look at the Panthers, I guess. I think this is a perfect opponent as well for that defense to bounce back for. Jalen Hurts has been balling out this season. I'm not saying he's not going to ball out against the Panthers, but the Panthers are set up to go to lunch against Jalen Hurts and that Eagle team and the Eagle offense and defense. Our next game up, we have the Tennessee Titans, the struggling Tennessee Titans, taking on, and I'm going to take off that name I called them last week, the Jacksonville Jaguars. What do you got?
I got the Jacksonville Jaguars taking this one. I think that they played very well against Cincinnati, and I think they kind of have built some sort of momentum kind of going their way. I mean, you can see that they've gotten better, it seems like, each week. And so I just was not impressed what I saw with. I mean, this one could go either way, right? I mean, I do think Tennessee is more than capable of beating a divisional opponent, Jacksonville Jaguars. But I'm going to roll with Trevor Lawrence here at home. I'm going to say that they get their first victory. I'm going to say that they win this one 28-24.
There it is. I knew we would get one eventually. We were on a 3-week streak. It got broken last week. Now we're back on it, baby. I got the Jacksonville Jaguars 28-24. I can't take the Titans, and I think I've taken the Titans every single game this season. I can't do it. Can't do it. Can't win with them. Can't coach with them, right? Michael Singletary. I mean, I cannot do it with the Titans right now. So I think the Jags continue their upward trends towards success. I think last week's game against the Bengals was probably one of the best things for them because they actually tasted some success in an actual game. So if Urban Meyer can keep his, stop from grinding on women, if he can keep that distraction down, I think the Jacksonville Jaguars take it to the Tennessee Titans in a good game. And the Titans right now are on a downward spiral. Not even a trend. They're on a spiral down. They need to correct that fast. Our last morning game is the New England Patriots traveling down to Houston to take on the Houston Dumpster Fire Texans. What do you got for me?
New England last week played very well against, and when they were hosting Tom Brady there, and was impressed. I thought Mac Jones played well. I think, we're going to see that he's going to be a game manager. He'll play efficiently. I mean, he did throw 19 straight passes in a row that were complete, and that is impressive. However, they weren't 50 yards down the field. So we don't see that with New England. So they play efficient. They play they play high power defense. They run the ball and they pass it efficiently. So I do think that all three of those factors are not something that Houston can handle. I do think that New England goes in there and they beat them convincingly 31-14.
Woo! Yeah. This game doesn't have excitement written on it at all. But I have Mac Jones getting the job done. The Patriots handle the Houston Dumpster Fire Texans in a relatively boring game. I got 21-10. Mac Jones has a decent game, comes off that good solid game that he had against Tampa Bay, and I think just is able to translate that against Houston. Moving on to the afternoon games. We got our first afternoon game is the Chicago Bears, right? Chicago traveling to Vegas, Sin City to take on the Raiders. What do you got for me?
Yeah, this should actually be a pretty good matchup. And the only reason I say that is because it seems like when the Raiders play the Bears, it's usually typically a good game. I don't know if you remember a couple of years back, I think it was in London. The Raiders and the Bears, it was a really close, that was a thriller. I remember that.
Yep.
So, but I do fully expect for the Las Vegas Raiders to bounce back here. I think that the main thing that they need to do is to start playing football in the first half. And because it seems as though first quarter, second quarter, they struggle, and then they try to make up for that in the second half because they're an excellent second half team. But they do need to play 4 full quarters of play here. I think that's something that they hone in and focus in on, and they're able to get the victory against Chicago. I expect Derek Carr to be back to his old self. I expect Josh Jacobs to get going. I expect Darren Waller to get involved a little bit more. So this one, they should win this one convincingly. I'm going to pick them 31-21 in this one at home in Las Vegas.
Almost. Yes, I'm with you there. So originally I wanted to take the Bears, but I relaxed. I took a breath. I calmed down. I realized it wasn't the end of the world, right? It was fine. It was a bad week. I know Khalil Mack is coming back to town, and I know he's going to want to have a big game. But in one of the worst performances ever by that O-line, I think they have a nice rebound game. I think they go back to looking to relatively how they normally look. 2 top cornerbacks going out in a game is never going to make it an easy game for you. So if they can get one of their cornerbacks healthy and get them back for that Sunday game, I think that'll help as well. But I think the Raiders have a bounce-back game against a really discombobulated Bears, right? Justin Fields just got announced the starter going forward, right? And in the future, we'll see what happens there. Matt Nagy doesn't know what the hell he's doing. Matt Nagy doesn't know his elbow from his... Excuse my language, but I mean, this guy doesn't know what he is doing. So, I would like to take the Bears. I like Justin Fields, but I think the Raiders, 3-1, they come back and they go to 4-1. In the next game, we got a team that is we had 2 teams that are actually absolutely rolling. We got the Cleveland Browns traveling to SoFi, taking on the Los Angeles Chargers. What do you got for me?
Yeah, I really, really liked what I saw out of Justin Herbert. I mean, this guy is maybe the next prodigy. He's something else. I mean, his accuracy, his arm strength, his pocket presence, his ability to defenses, it's incredible. So I never would have thought, coming out of Oregon that he was going to be the guy, but, he has proved me wrong. And has, whoever the teams that didn't pick him, especially Miami, shame on you. I am going to pick the Chargers here. I do think the Chargers bounce. I think they continue to go on a roll. I think that, Cleveland showed that they really don't have much offense. They're having some struggles there. I don't know what's going on with OBJ. I don't know what's going on with their run game. But I fully expect the Chargers to dominate in this one. I do think they win by at least 10 points. I'm going to take them 28-17.
Woo! Yeah, it's going to be a good one. This has the potential to be one of the games of the day for sure. But. Defense, 99.9% of the time, if you don't have Tom Brady on your team, will always beat offense. I got the Cleveland defense, who is on fire right now. They have been quarterback eaters for the last 2 weeks, and I think it continues in LA after a solid game against the Raiders. Right, no discredit to the Chargers. Right, I almost forgot who they were playing, but I think just like Justin Fields, I think just like Kirk Cousins, Justin Herbert is going to meet the buzzsaw that is that Cleveland Browns defense. And I think they go to work against them. And I think it's going to be a tough day, a tough Sunday afternoon for Justin Herbert and the Los Angeles Chargers. They have the Cleveland Browns taking this one 24-17. The next game up, we have, we'll see what happens. They could pull another shocker. We got the New York Giants traveling down to Dallas to take on the Cowboys. A classic division matchup right here. Classic division matchup. What do you got for me?
I love the who knows. Maybe they can. No. I do not see them going in. Just with the way that Dallas dismantled the Eagles, and just what I've seen from them the last few weeks, they seem that they have turned things around.
Yep.
Very surprising to me that they released Jalen Smith. I guess they're just like, we don't really need him. It's like,
that was surprising as well. Yep.
I've been very surprised with what Dallas has done. I think Dak Prescott's playing very well. I don't think there's a chance in hell the New York Giants go in there and beat them. Division battle or not. And for some reason, I don't know if it's me, but seems like Dallas plays all 17 of their games at home. I feel like every single time I look at the schedule, they're at home.
I do feel like all their games are at home. Yes, I do feel like that as well.
Like that. It's weird, but I got Dallas here. I feel like I'd be an idiot to pick New York. No disrespect, but they haven't showed me much, and so I'm gonna pick Dallas, beating them 35-21.
Yeah, after an upset, I guess you would call it, last week against the Saints. My dad texted me early on and said it was going to happen, so shout out to him. But Dallas looks like a complete team for the first time since maybe and I'm talking Troy and Michael Irvin. That's what I'm talking. This Dallas team looks like we saw the Tony Romo era. We saw the Tony Romo era. They never looked like this team, never. And I think it's pretty key that as long as Dak stays healthy, this team can compete for a Super Bowl. As much as I would not want to see it, as much as I think, they are America's team, but I think a lot of America would not want to see it. The Dallas Cowboys could contend this year. Their defense looks good. Trayvon Diggs, good for him. The Diggs brothers balling in the NFL, so good for them. The Dallas Cowboys, it's hard to not like this team just because Dak's on there. I think Dak is a really good role model for this team. So I'm going to go Dallas 35-17. I think as long as Dak stays healthy, and I'll keep echoing this, the Dallas Cowboys are going to be a problem. So I got the Dallas Cowboys 35-17. The next game, we got the San Francisco 49ers traveling to the desert, sunny, hot, dry Arizona. What do you got for me?
I'm going to be traveling with them. I will be going to this game. I'm very excited for the first time to attend the 49ers in Arizona game. I've been wanting to go for years. It just seems like it would be a really cool stadium to visit. Unfortunately, we're visiting Arizona, and they are on a hot streak. They look like possibly the best team in football. I know a lot of people power rankings have them at number one. After they beat the Rams handily. And we're just in a bind with our quarterback situation. We're struggling on, we don't know who's going to start. I think we all know who's going to start, but Shanahan's playing that game where, Jimmy might play. He didn't practice, but he might play. So I don't know if he's trying to, have the Cardinals prepare for both quarterbacks or what he's trying to do there. I never understand, but Trey Lance, he just doesn't have a lot of experience, and that's what scares me. I'd love, if this is going to be his first start in his NFL career, the Shakespearean irony here that I'm going to be there, to witness this. That's awesome. But I also think that they stand a chance. This will be the first time all season I haven't picked my team. I'm not confident at all. I do think Arizona wins convincingly. I do think they win 42-21. I think that, we might showcase some of Trey Lance's skills in the first half, but I just think they absolutely run away with it in the second half.
Yeah, I think the Arizona Cardinals continue their undefeated season against a struggling 49er team. I think we see Kyler have another great game and continue his lead MVP candidate season. I'm curious because when we record this, I know you said Trey's going to start, but I haven't heard if Jimmy's going to be out. I know Kyle hasn't confirmed it yet. So if Trey does start, I will definitely be excited for that because it is going to be his first start. The man did put up 20 fantasy points in one half. So we shall see. However, that Cardinals team ain't the Seahawks. So we shall see. I don't know. I may even just pick somebody off the street and throw him out there against the Cardinals. I don't even know if you want to do this to Trey. But I think Trey is man enough to handle the situation when the time comes. So I'll be excited to see if he's out there. But you got to go with the Arizona Cardinals. I got the Arizona Cardinals 35-17 and what may be a relatively easy game we see on Sunday. But we always hope it's competitive there. And our night game, we got a banger. Holy moly, do we got a banger. We got the Buffalo Bills traveling to Kansas City to take on the Chiefs in an absolute thriller of a game. What do you got for me?
So this one is a rematch of the playoffs, their playoff game. And then this is going to be, I believe, one of 2 game series. I do think that the Chiefs still make the playoffs. I know people are saying, hold your horses. It's Patrick Mahomes. He's sensational. He's a generational talent. I haven't seen anything like him in my entire life. So they're going to the playoffs. Yeah. It's a matter of what seed. And I do believe that they will have that whoever is going to the Super Bowl will have to go through Buffalo. However, I do think that the Chiefs win this game at home. I think that it's a shootout. I just think that Pat Mahomes gets the best again of Josh Allen. I am taking the Kansas City Chiefs in an absolute thriller, 35-28.
All righty. That's 35-28. That would be a solid Sunday night game. I am going to go the other way. I got the Buffalo Bills going into Arrowhead and continuing their march on LA and Super Bowl 56, taking out the Kansas City Chiefs. Woo, it just feels weird to say. The Buffalo Bills beating the Kansas City Chiefs. I think it happens. Buffalo Bills beating the Kansas City Chiefs 28-24. I think, we've seen the evolution of Josh Allen, right? That's what we're kind of seeing with Kyler right now. We're seeing him take the next step like Josh Allen took last year. We're seeing Josh Allen take even another step towards a level of greatness that we all wanted to and think that he can get to. So, if Kyler is 1A MVP candidates, Josh Allen is very much 1B candidates with that way that Buffalo team is absolutely rolling right now. They shut them out last week, right? They played? Yeah. I think I saw the stat. They've scored 118 points and they've only allowed like 26 or something banana crazy, which is ridiculous. So the Buffalo Bills coming to play this year. And I think they go into Arrowhead against that crowd, against that atmosphere, and I think they get the job done. This would be the staple win in the Bills season if they can get this done. Staple win right here. Moving on in our last game, Monday, Snooze Fest. Here we go. We got the Indianapolis Colts taking on the Baltimore Ravens. What do you got for me?
I got a guaranteed victory for you, and this will be another time where I pick the Ravens. I think the Colts played well last week. Give them some credit. Don't think they're going to play well enough here to beat Baltimore at home. I expect Lamar Jackson, that offense, to get going. I don't think the Colts defense will be able to contain them. I do have the Ravens winning this one 31-14.
Okay. I am gonna go with the Colts. I'm gonna rock with the Colts this week. I think the Colts beat the Ravens. I don't know why. I was trying to figure out reasons, but I don't know why the Ravens beat the Colts either. So I'm gonna go with the Colts. I think Carson, I don't have much faith in him, but I think Carson pulls it together enough to win a close game, 24-21. It's definitely not gonna be a blowout. Maybe the Ravens blow them out, but I'm going to rock with the Colts on this one. I think the Colts ride that momentum of last week, finally getting some success, finally tasting the end zone, finally, Carson getting going, the running game getting going. So I think the Colts take it to the Ravens and hand them an L on Monday night. And that is all we have for you on this week's edition of Meat on the 50. As always, we want to thank you guys for taking the time to check out this video. It means the world to us. Make sure you guys smash that like button, smash that subscribe button, smash that follow button. Brandon, any last words for the people?
Yeah, excited for another week. Thank you guys, like Jake said, for viewing. We would love it if you guys just left a comment, just letting us know how you feel about some of our picks. Just chime in. Feel free to chime in because we want to hear your voices as well. So if you guys can just let us know, agree or disagree, some of our analysis, we want to hear because you guys make some good points too. We want to hear it. And I'm super excited to also, like I said, fly out to Arizona and get a chance to see my team play another game, especially on the road. Got to try to contribute to the crowd noise that, because I feel like 49er fans, they do travel pretty well. So be on the lookout. Maybe you guys will see me. I don't know.
I like it. All right. All that is left to do is for the players to suit up, take the field, and get the job done. Remember, you can follow along with our picks on the Google Sheet that will be linked down in this video. All of our picks are updated there weekly with our records and everything that you guys want to see. So if you guys want to follow along there, you guys can also comment on that page as well. So you can definitely interact with us through a multitude of ways throughout the season. But until then, you guys stay fresh. Brandon and Jake are out. Alrighty, and that is all we have for you guys today. I want to thank you guys for taking the time to watch this video. We super appreciate it. And then I want to thank one of my best friends, Brandon Sullivan, as always, for joining me on this journey, giving me his analysis, his time, his picks, his predictions, his expectations, all of it. So I want to thank him especially. And again, I want to thank you guys for checking out this video. We super appreciate it. If you guys like what you saw, please smash that like button, smash that subscribe button, and then just tap on that bell notification. That way, anytime a new episode drops, and they drop every Tuesday and Friday, you are right there to consume the content, because that's what we do. We're always dropping the knowledge. So you just got to pick it up, shove it in your head, shake it around, and boom, better fantasy player, better knowledgeable football human being, because that's what we want you to do. We want you to grow your knowledge in football. If you are not growing, you are dying. So thanks again for taking the time to watch this video. Smash that like button, smash that subscribe button, tap on that bell notification to stay up to date on all the latest content. You guys know what it is. This has been Fantasy Time. I am your host, Jacob Cutler, the Fantasy Guy. And before we even sign off, I don't think I forgot. Follow us on Twitter at FantasyTime2021. Follow us on Facebook at The Fantasy Guy 2021. And then follow us on YouTube at FantasyTime2021. All three ways you can follow us and interact with us. And then in the link in this description down below, right? Click on that little more so it drops in the menu so you can see all the links that we have. Click on that Excel or that Google Sheets link and you will see all of our picks. Every week for the first 5 weeks, you'll see all of our picks, all of our updated standings, updated right there. You can comment on that. You can comment on this video with your picks. Interact, talk to us, right? We want to hear what you have to say, right? Give us your opinions. We ain't the only ones who have opinions here, right? We know you have opinions and we want to hear them too, just like Brandon said. But, there we go. But, this has been Fantasy Time. I am your host, Jacob Cutler, the Fantasy Guy. And until next time, Jacob Cutler is out.